always gotta give it a minute to load. Alright, I think we're good to go.
Alright.
Alright. Welcome back, folks.
Welcome. Sorry I slept through the end of last week, but I should be alright this time.
Did you end up catching up on that last level there?
I did not. I forgot about it.
Alright, that's okay. Real quick, we Return to the Graveyard was half a rehash of the Graveyard level. Kind of neat. They do it where you're running backwards through the through like half of the Graveyard level. Then you go to another path. We snuck around a bunch of demon dogs. We fought the guardians of the Graveyard, and they let us pass. And we unlocked the Daring Dash, which is basically the speedrunner's go-to option for running. Like, I guess like Paper Mario's spin.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the game sort of opens up at this point. Not really for reasons we'll get into in a little bit, but just to show it off while people filtering in. Hey, Crockett. We actually unlocked 2 levels that we can go to. There is the Enchanted Earth and the Scarecrow Fields. We can sort of do these in whichever order we want. There's definitely an order we're supposed to do them in, again, for reasons we'll get into shortly. But they do this a couple times where there's a branching path where you'll ultimately be playing every level, but you can kind of approach things out of order.
Alright.
I think it's another example of one of those where they really wanted to do a lot of experimental stuff. Ended up only getting a couple of those in. I know there's a lot of levels on the cutting room floor for this game, but it's neat that they gave it a go with that. What about the third arrow? Oh, okay. So we can go directly to Dan's Crypt. We can go from Return to the Graveyard to the Graveyard. I don't quite know why you get the option there, since it's sort of moot. Or we can go up to Cemetery Hill.
Yeah, it's almost a shame, though, that they didn't include all those levels that aren't that they didn't finish.
It's interesting. There's a couple instances where it's like, well, sure, they cut this level to make room for that level, and it definitely wouldn't feel like a complete remake if they didn't have that level. But it is neat to it is a bit neat that there's definitely cases where they could have gone, well, this was just they cut this sequence because it was filler that they just didn't have time to, but it would have been neat if they added that filler back in.
They could have, even if they were filler, they could have just had them as bonus levels after you beat the game or something.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be a fun way to do it.
That way, people that want the pacing of the original game still get it, but then they get that as a bonus after they're done.
Sure. Alright, so we have a vote to go to Scarecrow Zone. I am actually going to take us to the Enchanted Earth first. You'll see why in just a minute.
You get something there that'll be useful in the other area.
Kinda, yeah.
Alrighty.
We'll go ahead and get started here. Shadow demons were locked away in this shady forest by a great hero long ago. Not the worst place to be sealed away for eternity. Whatever you do, don't lick the toads. Does Dan even have a tongue anymore? And no.
Probably not, because he doesn't have a jaw, so.
Oh, wait. We usually do new entries at the start of each level. Let's see. This should be fairly quick.
Isn't nature wonderful? This beautiful family of wolves has found a happy home in the graveyard. Back in their den, 6 cute, squirmy little pups are waiting for good old Mom and Pop to return with delicious, fresh meat. Well, perhaps graveyard meat isn't the most fresh, but at least it's easily found and safe. But let me tell you, elsewhere in Galamir, vengeful farmers have hunted these majestic beasts to the point of extinction. Oh, thank goodness this last happy little family is here, amid the peace and tranquility of the graveyard, where absolutely no harm can befall them.
There were a couple words in there that I really like the pronunciation of, the extinction and squirmy.
Let's see. And then we have the Graveyard Guardians. I got a question. Are these skeletons spooky and / or scary?
Indeed.
Indeed they are.
Humanity's last line of defense against the restless undead. They prevent bony beings from escaping to the land of the living. Man's best friend, but not Dan's best friend.
Yeah, we took care of them easily enough. All right. Oh, were you around for us getting the hammer?
I was not.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the hammer replaces the club in most situations. It's your super powerful... oh, yeah, they added a whole bestiary for the remake. It's pretty cool.
It's voice acting.
The club the hammer replaces the club in terms of smashing things, though you'll still use clubs as torches.
I see.
Let's see. Now you want to take these toads out from afar because they do, I believe they detonate if you're up close to them. Or at least they do kickback damage, so you kind of want... Oh, no, that's it. They just pepper you with shots.
Well, we're glad to have you as long as you'll stay.
Definitely.
SG. I've played enough Spelunky to know that exploding frogs are no joke.
Sure.
I get you.
Alright, so we can't actually go super far into this level here, because that door is gated off. There is... No, wait, that's where I came from. However... Ah. I have to take out these plants as well, bear with me. These plants aren't too bad for now, but we will eventually learn to dread both them and the toads in this level. Let's see.
Ever since I was a kid, I always loved the premise basically being that Sir Dan had to become the lie and legend spread about him. That is a cool concept. I like the fake it till you make it kind of idea with it.
Definitely. I guess it is just their shots. Oh, but you do see what I'm getting at. We've just waded into this level and already we're down a full life bottle. And this level, when we do a full run of it, is a big fat gauntlet. So you definitely want to conserve your resources. Poking around a little bit. What do we got here?
Like a giant magpie, the dragon bird sits upon its hoard of stolen treasures. High above the trees, you will find a nest, Oh, those eggs are worth their weight in gold.
Let's see. We do have a more toads here. The club's AoE shockwave definitely does a lot to clear out smaller enemies. Let's see, can we get up to the Dragonbird's nest? I think we can. Let's go ahead and try that right off. Yep. Alright, so this... Oh, we'll want to double back down there. So this will take us way high up. Definitely want to try to avoid falling if we can. Ah, more of these guys.
I don't recall, is there fall damage in this game, or just lose some progress?
There isn't normally fall damage, but there also isn't a ton of verticality like this. In this point, we would actually fall out of bounds, so...
I see.
So then we would take fall damage.
Makes sense.
More to the point, however, here we have a trio of eggs that we want, and that Dragonbird does not want us to get. So we gotta push those eggs out of the nest while avoiding those claw swipes, making optimal use of the shield too. It is a little fiddly actually getting these eggs out. Let's see. There's one. Retreat for the next pass by.
Anything that that is based around pushing a round or pushing a physics object usually is pretty janky.
Yep.
Not just in this game, just in games in general.
Alright, Earth Rune. Whoops. I think that was just a copper shield up top, but I'm gonna grab that. I think that's something else you would have missed last time, Gomes. Bother. The way the game works, you actually have multiple classes of shields. So we have both copper shields and silver shields. You can only have one equipped at a time, but it's handy to switch back and forth between them because the only real difference is how many hits they can take, not how well they protect you. It was just a copper shield.
I don't follow.
So, like, once this silver shield runs out, I'll still have a full copper shield that I can switch to. It won't be able to take as many hits, but it's just as useful as having the silver shield. Besides that.
Right.
So,
but,
effectively, with inventory management, you don't just replace your copper shield with silver shield. You use your silver shield until it wears out, then switch back to your copper shield.
I guess I don't understand why... I guess I don't understand why the... Like, I know that you do that, but that's not really inventory management. Like, they could effectively do the same thing if they just gave you 10. Say it protected you against 10 things, and then you got another thing that protected you against 5 more things, and then, but they added those together and it'd be 15 things.
Well,
like other than you having to switch, but that's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. The big thing is that they're considered separate items. So once the silver shield wears out, I'll have to collect another silver shield in one of the levels. Likewise for the copper shields.
So you couldn't carry two, like Silver Shield and Copper Shield have different slots, and you couldn't theoretically carry 2 Silver Shields or 2 Copper Shields. So
Correct.
I see. I gotcha.
Keep out! This gate leads to the tomb of the shadow demons.
Well, that sounds like an invitation. Go ahead and pop this Earth Rune. Do some surprisingly tricky platforming. I think this is, we've seen before that Dan can't swim, so important for us.
None shall enter.
Oh.
The shadow demons are entombed within, separated from the world of goodness and light until the earth cracks open. No one, not even the Dark Lord Zarek, can release them without the shadow artifact. Leave now, or share their doom.
Jerk. Alright, so like the Gargoyle said, we actually can't progress any further into this level because we don't have the shadow artifact. But, in fact, they very helpfully provided a quick exit out of the level right here. That's what I meant before about how they do provide multiple paths, but you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
Now that being said, we're not completely done with this level. Okay, Con.
Now we're completely done.
Yep, just needed to off myself real quick there. All right, so we'll do this real quick.
There used to be a coven of witches in the caves beneath Cemetery Hill. The whole forest never smelt the same since.
Now that's your hint. You remember when I said we were doing kind of a side quest back in Cemetery Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that ties in here. Now, since we have the Witch Talisman, we can use it here.
Who has summoned the Witch of the Forest? Oh, it is you, Sir Fortescue. Forgive me, my lord. I have never met a real hero. Forgive me, just an old lady's little joke. In truth, I am glad to see you, Sir Fortescue. I need 7 pieces of amber that are hidden in the ant's nest. Bring them to me, and I can grant you a special reward. I will only offer you this quest this once. Are you willing to give it a try?
So, hell yeah.
Sorry, didn't I mention I'd have to shrink you to the size of an insect? Now hurry back.
And now we go into a completely different level, the Ant Caves.
Alright.
Did you know ants use sense to find their way through their labyrinthine colony? Outsiders who visit sorely lack sense.
That's always a fun thing. Like, this is not any different technically, but just it being so different of an environment in the plot structure makes it feel like a very unique level. It's cool.
The analogy that comes to mind is it's kind of like how the Cave of Bad Dreams was presented in Rayman 2, where it's sort of part of an existing level.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he has to say real quick.
Run, little man. If the master found it now, he would crush it like a bag. Hark! We can hear the soldier ants approaching. Onward, and meet your tiny nemesis.
Alright, now these ants will mess you up if you're not careful, so we gotta go for the gusto. Oh, I forgot about these guys.
For releasing me, sir. My people wish only to live out.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
But alas, the wicked ant Queen has many of us imprisoned. Rescue my people, Mr. Fortescue, and you will be richly rewarded.
Right, so this is now another side quest within a side quest. We only have to collect the amber, but we might as well save the rest of those disturbing fairy guys as well.
I mean, do we have to?
Oh, wait, actually they do open gates, so yeah.
Here we are. I shall open the entrance for you. These fireflies are my friends. They will light your way through the darkness below.
This magic portal was crafted by the fairies. It appears to have been created to prevent something escaping from the tunnels below.
And here the game gives us a club in case we didn't have the hammer, because you want to go all smashy smashy in this level. Let's see. Yeah, if you're afraid of bugs, you're gonna have a bad time in this level.
That's kind of... I kind of pity the ants in a way, because, like, is killing the larva really necessary?
Oh, absolutely not, but you do get goodies if you do.
Like, who's really the bad guy here? We're just breaking into their house and killing their babies. Yikes.
I don't know, they kidnap fairies, I guess? It's also super easy to get all mixed up in here as well. So you really have to be trying to pay attention to where you're going. I wanted to save that, actually.
You have to kill the babies? No, but I want to.
Basically. I mean, look at all the money we're getting.
You just implicitly confirmed that you would kill babies if it meant you got a paycheck.
Don't think too much about it. Uh-oh. Here they come. I've already been here before. Alright, that's where I went, so... That's where I went before, so... I suppose... Oh, no, so you do have to kill them because some of the babies have amber in them. So if you think about it, it's the witch's fault. I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay.
The old Nazi defense, just following orders.
Yeah, man, you know how it is. Just yes, whatever helps you sleep at night. Alright, so you kind of have to use the architecture, the special features of the rooms to remember where you are. So I know that this is where the trilobite is. Alright, that's 7 amber. But we still have fairies and the exit to find. Meh. Okay, that's right. The Hall of Heroes requirement for this level is actually tied to how many fairies you rescue. So, if you are doing 100% of the chalices, you do have to go out of your way to free all the fairies. Oh, back in the Trilobite room. Here we go. See, there's another one. Some extra amber, because you can never have too much amber.
Just watching you, I remembered a lot of Dan's moveset. It's really satisfying to do. Yeah, it has really good follow-through and animation on it.
The hammer is super satisfying to land. And Daring Dash is a lot of fun to just pull out in a pinch.
I also really like how you can move while you're charging up the hammer.
Yeah, definitely.
Too often when they have hammers in games, you just stop in place and then swing the hammer, and it kind of halts all your momentum. This, by being able to ready it keeps the game flowing a lot better.
Now, that's going to be the way to the exit. We don't want to go there just yet. I think we have to free the last fairy before we do that. I remember that tripping me up on my last playthrough. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to do some running around until we see another... we're basically looking for another wall like we've been smashing before, where it's just one of these holes covered up in little glowy amber. Wonder if that gargoyle head would have warned you that was an exit. That was a merchant gargoyle. That would have he would have sold me power-ups and pickups. Let him live. But there was a book over there as well that I think would have clued us into that being the way out. I'll read that once we head back. Shame he isn't willing to sell information. Hey, that's what his friends are for.
At least you're not smashing the eggs. Those are eggs, I think.
What, just these on the sides?
Yeah. Or are those like rocks of some kind, or
Yeah.
mushrooms?
I think those are just growths.
Okay.
It's probably going to be around here then.
I think those are just gross. That's SG.
Yeah, like I said, if you're afraid of bugs, this is a super scary level.
Not nearly as terrifying as being inside a real ant colony, though, I would have to say.
Oh, sure.
Just because that would be them squirming over you constantly. You'd just be like swimming in ants.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is way more spacious than an actual ant colony.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to specifically collect the chalice in this level. I think they just give it to you towards the end.
Well, yeah, here you can just crush the ants. They aren't just on you and hard to deal with, yeah. I mean, it makes it a better level, being able to crush the ants for sure, but I'm just saying, that would... If you want real nightmare fuel, you would just, like, be, like, drowning in ants squirming all over you.
Yeah, definitely. This is another really great showcase, though, of the game's love for very uneven terrain. Just how you're constantly going up and down rolling landscapes, and it very easily makes sense, or it's very believable that, yeah, you're in underground tunnels. It would be kind of rolling all over the place like this.
I bet that's to high draw distance to an extent.
Oh, sure, I could believe that.
Because, like, when you go up and down, you don't have to load the things from past that elevation change.
Sure. Likewise, just since they're all, this is gonna sound stupid, since they're all rooms with walls,
Yeah.
you're not constantly looking into other areas, and the game can unload stuff.
Right. Probably not an issue in the remake, obviously, but, you know.
Sure. I think this is the way forward. Ah, trilobite room. So then... You see what I mean, though, about how it's easy to get lost in here.
Yep.
Trilobite room again. Okay, so maybe that was... No, wait. I want to be in the trilobite room, and then I want to go this way. Okay, yeah, because then this is the second amber room, and this will lead to the exit. We're about as topped off on health as we can get. Wish we had a clean silver shield, but that's okay for now.
If you are brave enough to go beyond this point, you will enter the chamber of the dreaded Queen Ant.
Hope you didn't think we were getting out of here without a boss fight. Let's see. This will be a projectile heavy fight, so we definitely want to top off on bolts and daggers while we can. Alright. Here we go. So you can tell it's an ant queen because it has eyelashes.
It's Queen Slug for a butt.
Mm-hmm. Alright. This I remember as being the first really tricky boss fight in the game. The first couple fights have basically just been us stalling, but now we really have to watch ourselves. It's not a really difficult pattern. She just shoots projectiles for a while and then exposes her belly. Quite a bit. It's the, one, it's the rocks that drop down, and two, she constantly summons new ads.
Looks like they tear through your health really quickly, too.
Yep. Those ants are no joke.
Well, that is what he said, but he meant ads in the sense of additional minions, not ads in the sense of advertisements.
Huh. Man, in previous runs I died to that boss a lot.
Help to free all the fairy people from the clutches of the filthy and scum. As a reward, I can grant you passage to the Hall of Heroes. I've never been there myself, but I've heard they got a free bar.
Yeah, whenever, like, in, for example, a MMO, or something like that, whenever they summon minions, those are called ads.
Yep. Onyxia in World of Warcraft is a classic example. She summons her whelps. Those are considered ads. I've heard they got a free bar.
Bless me, if it isn't Daniel, Lord of the Ants. Hold still, and I'll remove the shrink spell. Oh,
But yeah, I guess you're just
lovely
talented now.
Amber.
I guess I've
Here,
gotten good at the
what's
game.
A wart-covered and cabbage
Don't-
smelling old crone I may be, but I always keep my promises. I grant you my reward.
Speedruns win.
Just don't look at my first run of Cemetery Hill last time. I think my favorite boss is the Stained Glass Demon, but that might just be for the sheer style and not the actual gameplay of it. Yeah, we were talking about the Stained Glass Demon last time. Super cool. Oh, I missed it. Okay, so we've got a new weapon from the witch. They're chicken drumsticks. It's weird, but you can either eat them for a minor health boost, or you can chuck them at enemies, and we'll get into what that does in the next level. In the meantime, we have a new weapon.
Fortescue, you jawless arrow magnet, what are you doing back here? What? Call me Mr. Woden the Mighty. How I pity the people of Galamir, that their fate should once again be in the hands of a chump like you. Still, I suppose it's not fair to take it out on them. Take my sword, and do try not to stab yourself in the foot. You know, I've always had my doubts about you, Fortescue. You're just not carved from hero material.
Alright, we've now got the broadsword. We'll actually...
That is a very broad sword.
Yeah. We'll want to use it pretty sparingly because it's an enchanted weapon. So long as that enchantment holds, it'll be super, super powerful, but hold it for long enough, let the enchantment run out, and it... I don't remember if you straight up lose it, or if it just gets really sucky. I guess an analogy is the Razor Sword in Majora's Mask. Except just having it equipped will burn through its use.
And also you can't upgrade it to fix it being shitty.
Yeah, right, yeah. Oh, well, you can buy usage back, actually.
Yeah, but you can't fix it permanently.
Well, we'll get to that.
Well, okay, you can fix it permanently. Okay.
So, let's see. The trick is it costs the same amount to bring it back up to full no matter where it's at. So you have to be willing to pay the price no matter where you are. Sometimes it's smart to just burn through usage of it for a while before going to actually pay for the recharge. Oh. Alright, the Ants Hill is not accessible on the main map, so I guess it always brings us back to Dan's crypt. We could go back to the Enchanted Earth, but until we get that Shadow artifact, we won't be able to continue. So now it's time to go into Scarecrow Fields. Nothing grows here anymore. Nothing good, at least. And beware the corn. Or is it wheat? Well, whatever it is, don't walk into it.
Corn and wheat are things that grow, but I guess they're not good enough for you. Oh, I like that. The atmosphere here.
Yeah,
Cool.
from a visual standpoint, this is definitely one of my favorite areas. Oh, let's see if we can use one of these chicken drumsticks. Yeah. I'm not sure if that did the thing. So the idea is... There. Oh, this Scarecrow. I'll chuck it at him. There we go. They turn into chicken.
And
That's supposed to heal you, although I couldn't really tell if it did anything here. Yeah. I think I remember this being one of the most frustrating levels in the platforming side of things, but still loving it visually. Yep, that's apt.
The Scarecrows are almost unstoppable, so don't be a hero. If you can't beat them, try trapping them while you make your escape. Using your new Daring Dash ability should help you get ahead of them quickly.
Yeah, those Scarecrows will just keep on coming and will try and mess you up, so it behooves you to just go super fast in this level.
Do you not burn down the hay?
I don't think I can. Okay, so you turn to chicken. Yeah, chicken heals you. Not by much, though. Chicken isn't super useful practically, but it's neat that it exists. We don't... Oh wait, we actually...
There's fire there, so maybe you can burn down those.
Oh, I can't go past now that I've kicked the cart in the way. But we'll come back to that.
Beware of mischief makers and metal machines. Who knows what dark sorcery brings their metal limbs to life? It would be good to see the back of such menaces.
Let's go ahead and swap out the chicken for a crossbow there. I'll have to come back with the rune.
There's fire.
Oh, there we go. Sure. Let's see. Go ahead and... Hey, good call. I don't think I've ever done that.
Seemed like something you'd be able to do.
Sure. Oh. Whoops. Forgot that you can catch fire. Every little bit's a pick-me-up. Let's come back for that. Oh, no. Let's see. Let's top off our sword, actually. Alright. Oh, wait. There we go. Moon rune right there. Let's double back. Let's bring fire into this house. I see no issues with this.
It's fine.
Excuse me. I wonder how much this is actually different in the remake. I remember this. Oh, well, that was nothing, but it's a cute little Easter egg, I guess. I remember this being a pretty faithful remake to the original. Like, there's a couple things they added, but by and large, the spirit of the original is still there. Or, they didn't change a whole lot of stuff. Basically just remade stuff. Oh, wait. Those scarecrows will mess you up, though. Oh, here's another. I also really like that Sir Fortescue is not a very graceful fighter, so you end up just wading into fights, just swinging your weapon wildly. There's sort of a frantic energy to dang near any encounter. Take that.
These fields are home to many mad machines, yet the most bizarre of them is housed within this barn.
Oh, we'll come back for that. Alright, is there... So... Oh, wait. Here we go. Ah!
Kalkatura, the Serpent Lord, yearns to fight alongside you, but has been captured by Zarok and sealed within a chest. Free this mighty spirit and earn a powerful ally.
Let's see.
Death waits in the cornfield. Pick your route carefully and do not linger in the corn.
We definitely don't want to step right into the corn because they'll get us. And actually, we normally do this at the end of levels, but this entry I'll have us do right away. I'm skipping over a couple. We'll double back to most of these. But if we step into the corn, we have to deal with corn killers.
These dreaded cornstalkers are utterly silent, totally invisible, and 100% deadly. They're also just about the cheapest solution a time-strapped video game developer could ever conceive to stop the player going where they're not wanted. Rejoice.
That's fun.
So there you have it.
But like, can you burn these? This field? I doubt it, but
The whole field, no. The stacks we can, the individual stacks we can mess with though. Oh. Yeah, no.
yeah, okay. Everyone knows you can only set fire to straw if it's inside of a stack.
Well, of course. Alright. Let's get a little help here. Well, the serpent guy only sticks around for a little bit, but he will help murder, straight up murder any jerks that are bugging us. We could have let him out earlier to help deal with the enemies, but I forgot. We also see that I ran out of enchantment on the broadsword, so now it's just a regular broadsword. Not nearly as powerful. Still useful in a pinch, though. Gah! Keep doing that.
No longer a broadsword, now it's just a bastard sword.
Not even a sneaky bastard sword. Alright, but let's step on in here. Oh, I don't know that I ever noticed that fencing lunge that he sometimes does. That's cute.
The corn-cutting machine is missing a part. A cog fell off this miracle of modern agriculture, and it hasn't worked since.
Alright, so we'll have to look for that cog. Just for the sake of things, can I at least lower it? Alright, yeah, that'll save us a little bit of time later. Out of here. Dumb bad. Okay. So we'll come back for that. Oh wait. now that I've got everything I need for the chalice, I'm just going to try to run around the Scarecrows. You really do get the full experience of the level, just frantically running everywhere. Whoops. Is that fencing lunge just for the broadsword or for every sword? Well, let's see. Looks like he does it for the short sword as well. Not getting the gold.
I mean, that makes sense because you would probably do that more likely for a short sword, but
we'll be doubling back, not to worry. Wait, there's... Oh. Right, that's the trick. Alright, now that's the way out.
Pumpkin Gorge, dead ahead. The nursery to Galamir's favorite side dish. Step inside and understand the true horror of fruit gone bad.
But what we want is this this part right here. Now we can double back.
I was wondering if the animations changed for later weapons, since that could have been a way to reflect him growing into the hero role.
Oh, that'd be neat. I don't think they really do that. They sort of do it with what the weapons are later on, but I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head how much they play with animations like that. Oop. Ow, 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 ow. There we go. Oh, not you. Out of here. Nope. Luckily, we defeated all the other enemies, so much for that life bottle you filled. Yeah.
Well, just look at it this way. You prevented yourself from draining another life bottle.
True enough. Alright, so let's put this harvester pin part in.
Okay, I think I got this level mixed up with another one when I was talking about platforming.
Oh, sure. And
Yeah, I was kind of confused because there doesn't seem to be a ton of platforming here, really. But I guess the saw traps are kind of platforming. But
that's what I was thinking. It's definitely, if you're just blundering on through it, those things will mess you up. Like a lot of this game. Anyway. Oh, a new life bottle too. Excellent. Alright, we should be good to go. Now just one more run through the gauntlet. 2, 3.
I like that that's just a mini golf obstacle.
Ow, ow.
Like they found a way to put in the windmill for mini golf just as an obstacle to avoid.
Oh, the entire section is basically mini golf traps. Yep.
I can kind of see that, yeah. It's fun.
Gaining allies in the Hall of the Heroes is the way forward. Hack, choppity chop, off with a few zombies' heads, and it thinks it can redeem itself in battle. You still have a long way to go to rank as the best.
Let's go ahead and top off our sword charge right away.
By God, Fortescue, you must be the luckiest corpse ever to walk the face of the earth. I have something here I can lend to you. Take it or leave it, but remember, I'm only doing this for the sake of Galamir's doomed population, and not for you, you gangly buffoon.
And just some treasure. Nothing super fancy, but money's always useful. Oh, yeah, this is a neat thing that they added for the remake. Now, in the original, they displayed all the chalices as you collected them, but because this is now on modern technology, doop, doop, you can just physics them.
Thanks, Half-Life 2.
Whoop.
This is what your legacy lives on through these random chalices.
Big. Now you're making me want to see this game with a gravity gun. Alright, once again we have a choice between levels, and this one is a bit more open, but I'm still going to choose one over the other. But we do have the option between the Sleeping Village and Pumpkin Gorge. We'll go for Pumpkin Gorge since that was mentioned and since this leads to the quickest dead end stuff.
Oh yeah, I think that that gargoyle does a good job of making himself utterly unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people could feel that.
Alright, it's been a bit, so let's go through bestiary entries. Start with Kolkatura, the Serpent Lord.
This formidable serpent was somehow lured into a tiny chest and trapped by men working for King Peregrine. Probably it must have been a magic chest, because really, this is one huge serpent to fit in such a small box. But anyhow, the king believed he had imprisoned the evil serpent of Galamir, when in fact it was kindly serpent Lord Kolkatura that he had unboxed. Katura is probably going to have a big hug for whoever sets him free, and an ever tighter one for their enemies.
We'll move on to the enemies, Scarecrows here.
These straw men spin to win. They have teamed up with the crows to protect their cornfield home from strangers, whom they greet with sharp, spinning affection.
Let's see, the Mad Farmers.
Nothing comes easy for these poor farmers. As Galamir's population declines, so does the demand for their crops. It's no wonder they hide in haystacks. Show them some sympathy and let them stab you a couple of times, eh? Industrious thieving imps built these powerful machines to steal crops from the farmers. Personally, I think they do better mass-producing these things and selling them to the farmers, but hey, thieves gotta thieve. They're vampire bats. Actually, they're just bats, but they bite. That's sort of vampire-y. Fresh off the vine, these baby boomers are in too much of a hurry to grow up. They can't wait to spread their pumpkin seed.
Oh. A couple from a little further on, too.
Is this really what the ancient dragons evolved into? Their dreadful ancestors would be ashamed. Don't lick their backs. That's a good way to end up in the loony bin. No, really, just don't.
I love the mecha imps. They look like some fancy boss or mini boss, but they ain't a big deal. Yep, very much the impression you get your first run is like, oh, they're scary. Oh, no, they aren't.
Poisonous pollen protects these plants from predators. Just to be safe, they fire it at everything. Can never be too careful these days. Fascinating creatures, ants. Did you know they're as old as the dinosaurs? That they talk using chemicals? Or that they share a hive mind? And contrary to popular belief, they actually have no interest whatsoever in your pants.
A couple bosses here. The game counts the dragon bird as a boss, even though I don't think you actually fight it.
She's not just a set of legs. There's a whole devoted mother bird up there. And no one treasures her eggs more than this bird mama. They may someday hatch into beautiful baby birds, or maybe just into beautiful bags of gold, or bags of golden babies. Who knows?
And finally, for now,
Although accustomed to letting her soldiers do all the fighting, this is one tough bug lady. She's an acid-spitting queen who will fight to her last gasp to defend the brood of insect infants incubating inside her egg sac. Oh, if only there was an airlock you could flush her out of.
right out. Oh. Right, so... Oh. Oh, okay. So, we'll have to come back here once we've filled up the chalice. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So that's where we'll come back to. Yeah, this level, despite appearances, is mostly a straight shot, just with a couple side paths that also lead straight. But this is another one where there's just really neat visual design to what this level's going for.
Yeah. I like that it feels open, and like obviously they have all of these walls here so that they don't have to load everything and whatnot, but like they make sense and makes this area feel lived in and like it's a place that could exist, even though it's kind of even though you can tell that they're meant to be corridors and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about this.
That doesn't really make sense, but
It's... You just gotta charge up the mill, I guess.
well, I mean, you were turning it the wrong way. It would have... The wheel underneath your feet should have gone the opposite direction based off of the way you were running, but...
He's just that good. I don't know. There we go. Oh. Wait. Ah, it's being a little fiddly again. There we go.
Up and down these magical mushrooms go. They will take you higher and higher, but be careful not to fall and sink without a trace.
We'll double back for this, actually. Because... Boy, there's a lot of pumpkins here.
I think this game does a good job of making enemies threatening, even though in 3D space that's usually really difficult to do. Especially when you have a lot of combat options, but just because the enemies are very aggressive and because there isn't much space to maneuver around, that's a good way to keep them still being a threat, even though it's naturally difficult to do that in 3D space because there's so much more room to navigate around them.
Agreed. And this is a game that really benefits from Dan not having iframes.
Yeah.
Like, normally that's just a recipe for disaster to just get comboed by enemies. But in this case, it really works because Dan gets so much health, and you have a few different defensive options with the shields, and just being able to daring dash away. That becomes the strategy of figuring out how many hits you can take and when to prioritize taking hits and when to just get the hell out of there.
Well, and because your combat is so naturally like based around flailing around wildly in the first place, so like it's expected that you will take a few hits and just kind of flail into victory, and they kind of base it around that instead of like a no-hit run of this game would be ridiculous, but that's not what it's based around, so that's fine.
Yeah. Also with how they lay out lots of health vials and those health founts that you're constantly going back and forth to. I think I just have to... Can I jump? Nah, I have to run back down. Oops. Careful. You know what I think it is? There's a lot of games that where there's a lot going on, like high level shmups, where there's a lot going on, but eventually the strategy of it is about finding serenity through the chaos. And that's never the case in this game. You are never going to have a moments where you're just calmly defeating the enemies.
Right.
And that's just a really neat design idea to see it play.
Yeah, the video games are almost unilaterally based around recognizing patterns and adapting to them, but this game is very much in opposition to that. Just how the enemies are generally more AI based and very aggressive and move around a lot and stuff.
Yeah. I open both of these.
Like, I'm not gonna say there's no patterns just because you can learn their behavior, but it's more adapting to whatever they're going to do than it is like finding the exact sequence of stuff you have to do ahead of time.
You could never do a Kaizo of this game. That's just not how it's designed.
Right.
Unless you did like Kaizo 64 or what have you. Let's see. Just checking out. Okay.
That's so Kaizo.
Alright, I'm gonna double back to get that chalice. Whoops. That was almost disastrous. Here we go. Oh, down here. Easy. Alright, almost out of here.
bow down before the master of the vegetable patch, the prize-winning plant who can summon an army of cabbage with a wave of his noble tendril. He's delicious, he's nutritious, he's Zarok's secret recipe. He's the Pumpkin King.
Let's go meet him. Right after these messages from our heroes. Sponsors. Oh. Oh, right. Things have now opened up a bit. Or at least we have access to the upstairs. Whole new set of heroes we can meet up here. Let's see, we can talk to the centaur, who apparently there's centaurs in this game. Or we can talk to the
Okay.
well, let's just
Dan. Don't be shy. I've seen you giving me the eye. You may be weak and feeble like old men, but I like you, Daniel. Now listen up. Your bow and arrows are fine for itty-bitty jobs, but if you want to pack some serious heat, you should take this spear.
all right. And now we have spears. Spears.
Alright.
Spears are, as mentioned, much more powerful ranged options.
Do you mean ranged as in they reach farther, or ranged as in you can throw them?
Throwing spears.
Alright, cool.
Let's see. And if we charge it up, we get more. We throw it further, I guess. Let's go ahead and these will cap up. Should be all right here. Spears will be pretty useful for. Hell, actually, they'll be pretty useful in just a minute or two here. Alright, after working our way through Pumpkin Gorge, we come to the Pumpkin Serpent. A lot of snakes in this game. The root of all pumpkin evil. Squash that squash and rid Galamir of the seedy menace once and for all. Okay.
The King Pumpkin sleeps. If you want an audience with this regal plant, you should mash all of his pod sacks.
Well, alright.
I mean, wasn't our idea.
Again, we're not to blame for any of our actions here.
It is rumored that the Pumpkin Witch is in possession of a much sought-after dragon gem. If you have a witch talisman, you could summon this kindly witch.
Oh, well, at this point of fact, we do have a talisman. So, let's go ahead and do that right away.
Greetings, kind sir. I am the Pumpkin Witch. I'm like a mother to those pumpkins. I give them all the love and care a young fruit could ever ask for. From the moment they first push a shoot above the soil, right up until their heads are cut off and eaten. And look, see how they repay me, running around and causing mischief. That nasty old big pumpkin is a bad influence on the young seedlings. If you teach him a lesson in manners, I might give you a nice present.
Well, all right, there's her motivation. She asked nicely.
I mean, that's how you become a hero, right? You do random quests for the villagers around town.
Exactly.
Pick up my laundry, gain 3 hero points.
Deliver this sock.
Defeat 20 myconids. Bring me back their pelts.
Ah, hell. Let's switch to... Yeah, we'll do that and that. Yeah, as impressive as the, as fun as the hammer animation is, the magic sword really, pays for itself. Or, really gives you a lot of kick. I wonder. I just want to try something. Nope. Come on. Aw. I was hoping the chicken would turn the fish into chicken.
No such luck. You can only do that if they're tuna fish. 'Cause that's the chicken of the sea.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. That's good. Let's see. Can I get in there? Probably another way I'm supposed to get in there. Let me in. I just want to, I want to smash pumpkins. Nah. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's see what this does. Okay, yeah, that's a thing that it does. Alright, once we find the chalice, we'll be good to go. Alright, boss time! Spears make short work of him. Okay. Oh, apparently not.
I like the choice to not... Yep. I like the choice to not give the pumpkin any eyes. It's just a bit more creepy and disturbing that way, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you would expect a jack-o'-lantern to have the full face, but I like that he's just a big gaping maw.
Alright, one more round. Nope, right. Nope. This would help if I paid better attention to where they spawned. Ah, well. I got that one. Oh, pff, I was close. I think I have to redo that phase then, since I let him fully heal up. Oh wait, maybe we're okay. Alright, out of ammo for that, so we'll switch to that, and let's do the hammer.
I mean, it wouldn't be a pumpkin unless you could smash it.
True enough. Although this boss is actually, with those vines out, he's pretty resistant to being smashed. Now, though... There we go. That'll do.
Alright.
Alright, the way forward's open, but before we do that, we've got a couple things to check up on. First, we'll call the Pumpkin Witch again.
A most edifying spectacle, sir. Man and vegetable in a magnificent duel to the death. Oh, I've come over all of a doodah. Here, have this lovely dragon gem as your reward. Oh, lovely, majestic creatures dragons are.
Alright. Oh, I think I know where we use that. So that'll come up in a little bit. And here we go. The spoils for our job well done. That'll do. Alright, let's head on out.
Okay.
I think we have to go talk to the centaur guy now. I'm just checking real quick.
Look at you running around in your bones, Fortescue. You're so nouveau dead. I, Ravenhooves, last prince of the Centaurs, have not galloped the earth in over 10,000 years. Do yourself a favor, Fortescue. Take my longbow, more powerful than a crossbow. The option of flaming arrows, it is truly the weapon of noblemen. Congratulations! You don't quite have my breeding, Mr. Johnny-come-lately, but there's hope for you yet.
Alright.
Wow. Someone that doesn't think we're a complete failure at life. Just mostly.
We're starting to get there. I mean, we've amassed a decent collection of chalices. Eh. But yeah, the crossbow, or the longbow is much stronger than the regular crossbow. Doesn't have bank shots, but it does have a powerful charge shot that we can fire off. And it gets a couple neat upgrades a little later on as well. The first two guys we talked to relatively friendly. Yeah, to be fair, the first guy we talked to, Canny Tim, was Dan's page in life. So he, or I guess she, they did some retcon in some of the comics. She's so she's all right, but no, everyone else is like this guy. Alright, with the Pumpkin Serpent defeated, now we can mosey on to the Sleeping Village. This is another one of my favorite levels, for reasons you'll see pretty quick.
Alrighty.
This town was once so lively. What is the opposite of lively? Deadly? Yes, that's what this town is now.
Poor villagers. The master possesses them. It mustn't hurt them. Hurt guards, though. They seek out an object of great power.
Alright, so the gimmick of this level is that there's a bunch of possessed villagers wandering around, and we lose points for the chalice if we defeat them.
Yeah?
So
it's stealth?
No. It's, as is true to form, it's run really frantically and through the environments pell-mell while bad guys attack you. Just, you can't retaliate most of the time.
I see.
Kind of an interesting dynamic. But before we get into that, let's take a look at our updated records.
Winner of the Jolliest Witch in Galamir Award for the 4th consecutive year. Wartilda actually runs a successful potions business and makes cool cheddar from her pumpkin spice profiteering. The other witches are secretly jealous.
I guess I missed these from earlier.
Once part of the infamous Cemetery Hill Coven, Imelda was ostracized by her sisters when she refused to stop using the communal cauldron to prepare her notoriously pungent lunchtime brews. She now resides in the Enchanted Earth, where no one complains. Or at least if they do, she just turns them into a toad, and seriously, do not lick those toads. A proud and fair race, the fairies were rulers of the underground world until that fateful day when the Ant Queen invaded their turf. Honestly, we don't know why the ants have them imprisoned, but for some reason, fairy magic doesn't seem to work against ants. Seems odd to me, but hey, I don't make the rules.
Let's see.
These once good-natured pumpkins fell victim to the Pumpkin King's toxic influence. They're still tasty if you can convince them not to murder you, but perhaps you should think about things from their perspective. Well, how would you feel if someone wanted to scoop out your brains and carve a big, goofy smile across your face? Hypnotized citizens of a once thriving town. They'll happily invite you in for tea, but if they ask to borrow a shovel, you should probably decline. A terrifying reminder of the perils of competitive vegetable growing, this sinister squash has become a terrible influence on his once peaceful pumpkin. Xerox magic has created the ultimate superfood. This is one ghoulish gourd that's simply bustin' for a dustin'.
All right.
I like that. That's a good pun, pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for the... Dustin makes me feel good. So for the most part, I'm going to try not to use my weapons in this level. There are conventional bad guys. As you mentioned, there are guards. As the gargoyle mentioned, there are guards wandering around that we can attack. But for the most part, you want to... we're going to want to avoid using weapons.
Blacksmith's Monthly. Old man Willie Green of Gallowstown was awarded Smithy of the Season by our readers. His outstanding casts have produced many intricate and hard-wearing iron goods and sculptures. Willie only uses the finest of metals in his work, and is particularly noted for his magnificent busts. Old man Willie was quoted as saying, "Aye, when I get pumping on me bellows, there's no stopping me. It's all in the rhythm, up and down, up and down. I've always been inspired by the stories of Stanya Ironhewer, the greatest smithy that ever was."
The other thing about this level is that it's basically a mini adventure game.
Okay.
We'll be doing a lot of running back and forth between some of these different shops, trying to solve little puzzles. And again, some inventory management. Oh. Yeah.
The Rune key is held aloft by the flow of water from the fountain. You may have to wait for the next drought.
I believe our ultimate goal is to get that rune key, so we have to work our way through different puzzles in order to get there. Oops. Alright, let's see what's in the chapel here.
A crucifix once stood here, but the mayor took it. Find a replacement and see how the church should really look.
All right, so that's our hint. We need to bring a crucifix here. Sneak our way around the lake here. I probably want to save that for later, but that's okay. Whoops. Just looking around for any open doors that we can enter here. We'll need the Chaos Rune to get into the library from the looks of it.
I like the style of this level. I like that it keeps making you move, and it like has the creepy vibe to it, just from like constantly being on your feet. Like like even though it's not super dangerous, just the fact that like you can't rest at any moment does a lot for the atmosphere in here, I think.
Definitely. Alright, so we've got the Moon Rune. That won't open the library, but this will still have a use somewhere, just have to find where it goes. Let's see, nothing there. Yeah. Let's see, that's the merchant. Oh, okay, here we go. So if I come down here... Oh, I guess my first goal is to get the Chaos Rune. Okay. Well, still, that'll be our foothold. So now that we've got the Chaos Rune, I can grab this, and this will let me into the library here. We'll try and dodge this dude while we get some lore dumps.
History of Galamir, Volume 1. During the dark time that was Galamir's not too distant past, it was King Peregrine who thwarted Xerok the Necromancer and his plan to enslave the land. Xerok,
Hence
once
lore
the King's
reading.
mage, had fallen out of favor with the ruler for conducting outlandish experiments on the bodies of the dead. It was said that deep within Peregrine Castle, the dead were restless. The dead are to be honored, not kept as the playthings of alchemists, declared King Peregrine as he banished Xerok from the castle. All of Xerok's living dead were routed out and destroyed. Xerok, being an unforgiving soul, went into hiding and vowed to wreak his revenge on the king.
Alright. Actually, bear with me a minute. I think there's something we can do to... Oh, no.
History of Galamir, Volume 2. Rumors of ill-doing and dark deeds abounded through the land of Galamir. It was whispered that Xerok had employed the aid of shadowy demons to help build a vast castle. Under the cover of night, Xerok's dark army spilled forth from their corrupt haven. The army marched south across the Silver Mountains and through the Silver Woods. Soon afterwards, even the Pumpkin Lands belonged to
All
Xerok.
right. Good night,
The
SG.
folk of
See ya, SG.
Galatown cried out for help. Save us, good King Peregrine. Retaliation was swift and violent. King Peregrine's forces, led by the brave Sir Fortescue, drove Xerok's army back from Gallows Town. Oh, there was much rejoicing, but the war was not yet over. History of Galamir, Volume 3. News that Xerok's army had now taken the Floodlands caused much concern. From this vantage point, Xerok could march west to take the Enchanted Forest. This sacred place would prove a bitter defeat if it fell into the hands of the evil sorcerer. It was Sir Dan Fortescue who once again led the king's militia to rid the demon host from the land. Yet the evil wizard was cunning and had prepared an ambush. Titanic battle ensued, of which history has never seen the like. It is said that the day would have gone to Xerox, but for the skill and valor of one man. Fortescue led the charge deep into the massed ranks of the undead, felling Xerox's bodyguard, the fearful Lord Kodok, and before finally succumbing to his own mortal wounds, slew the traitorous sorcerer with a mighty sweep of his sword. History of Galamia, Volume 4. The forces of evil were destroyed, but at a terrible price. None but a handful of the king's militia returned from that field. Galamir lost a whole generation of young men that day, including Canny Tim, the legendary crossbowman, and Fortescue's second-in-command, who fell in the first volley of arrows. Xerox's body was never found, though if it lies unmourned in an unmarked grave, then no one in Galamir would shed a tear. The shadow demons that had fallen under Xerox's banner were unnatural creatures that did not belong in the world of mortal men. The king declared that they be banished, entombed under the pure earth of the Enchanted Earth. Imprisoned within an impregnable box of the king's design, the demons were buried deep underground. Their tomb was sealed with a magical device that has since come to be known as the Shadow Artifact.
And now we know.
Tourist's Guide to Galamir, Part 1. The land of Galamir is a wondrous land of breathtaking sights and adventure. If it's beauty you are looking for, be sure to check out the sights of the Enchanted Forest. Scale the heights and see the nests of giant dragon birds. Seek out weird and wonderful plant life. Go ooh and ah at the sight of baby dragon toads splashing about in the crystal clear ponds. Why not take a walk through the Pumpkin Valley? Pumpkin is Galamir's favorite dish, and about now the valley is just bulging under the weight of young podlings awaiting harvest.
Let's see, almost done. A little bit more.
Tourist's Guide to Galamir, Part 2. If it's mystery you're looking for, then the seasoned adventurer should travel to the ruins of King Peregrine's castle. Yes, this is the fortress from which the fabled King Peregrine once hailed. It is said that the king's crown was lost in the dungeons below the castle, and that the ghost of the regent himself now haunts these cold stone passageways. Spooky. Why not take the swamps and seek out the mythical town of Mellowmead? This place was once said to be a place of fantastical arcane alchemy, but an age has passed since it was consumed by the murky swamps. Perhaps great treasure awaits any adventurer that can locate its watery resting place.
Let's see. Just a couple more here.
Heroes from History, a retrospective.
Oh, here we go.
Chapter 1.
This is how we
In
learn about
addition
the
to being the
heroes.
strongest man who ever lived, Stanier Ironhewer was unsurpassed in his skill as a blacksmith. He was equally happy pounding on his anvil at home as he was pounding on someone's head in battle. It was said that his only fear was the end of the village smithy as the focus of manufacture, in favor of more centralized units. As if.
Oh. I guess you do.
Chapter 2.
Oh. Okay.
Born a humble peasant to one of the nomadic tribes from the Eastlands, Bloodmanoth Skullcleaver gathered an army of horsemen and swept over half the civilized world. When he finally died, attempting a single-handed attack on a garrison in the north while armed only with a spike on his helmet, he was the richest and most powerful peasant of his day.
So I guess they give us a little bit of time to discuss or compare
Chapter
notes.
3.
Okay.
Carl Sterngard spent most of his formative years under siege at his family castle. With his impregnable magic shield, Sterngard's motto was, "The best form of attack is defense." Sadly, his shield couldn't protect him against poor eating habits, and he died during a post-battle feast while swallowing a large sausage he had failed to chew.
Being the world's richest and strongest peasant is like being the world's largest
Chapter
ant.
4. Truly the
I
hero's
guess.
hero. Woden the Mighty was fearless, single-minded, and uncompromising. Unbeaten in combat, he inspired raw fear in friends and enemies alike, not to mention in close family members and pets.
Some of these heroes definitely have more to them
Chapter
than
5.
others.
Trained from birth in all forms of combat, Imanzi Shongama was the warrior queen of a tribe of Amazons. The bold and the beautiful Shongama banished all males from her territory, except the handful she kept on to mow the lawns of her people. Chapter 6. A full-time mother and homemaker, Megwin Stormbinder had to defend her settlement from barbarian raiders while the menfolk were away on a hunting trip. She fought off repeated attacks, armed only with a pitchfork and a rolling pin, and with one arm holding her baby. Legend has it that the gods, impressed by her indomitable courage, intervened and added thunderbolts to her arsenal. She won the battle with a couple of bolts to spare on her husband when he finally returned. Chapter 7. Dirk Steadfast was a fearsome opponent thanks to his magic sword and a firmly held belief that only women defend themselves. Real men are always on the attack. He was a friend and contemporary of Carl Sterngard, and was with him even to the end. It was whilst Steadfast was explaining his views on Sterngard's shield during a feast that the latter had his tragic and inexplicable accident.
I think this is the last one then.
Chapter 8. Descended from the finest centaur Bloodstock, Ravenhooves the Archer was the last prince of his people. A proud and haughty aristocrat, he was an accomplished hunter, sportsman, duelist, playboy, raconteur, and 3 times Derby winner.
Oh, no, one more. Oh, hey, okay. Alright, hold
Chapter
on.
9.
I have to act surprised.
Captain of the militia in the time of King Peregrine, Sir Daniel Fortescue found fame when he killed the renegade wizard Zerok. A career soldier raised in the royal household, he was adored by the men under his command, and renowned for his loyalty to Galamir. It was said that Fortescue was always destined for greatness. With his square jaw, steely gaze, and thick shock of hair as black as raven's wings, he looked every inch the hero.
Alright.
That's cute, just because it's... You have none of those things anymore.
Yep. Alright. Nope. We did that already. One last buck.
To whom it may concern, I must make haste, for Zerok's men will be here within the hour. I have taken the crucifix from the church. It is the key to a key. I used the cross to make the attached cast. Then I had it destroyed. It is my hope that this cast falls into the hands of a just and good hero. Signed, the town mayor.
Alright, now what does that say? The Norman suffering of uncare found the town of Bellabone dreaming within the garderobe gain. We know your intention that be ye smell smocks? Know ye men of the book will not sit idle while weg halters sprunt around the hall. We be thrunch curses of Mary Gall on ye. That had to be just some just whatever text they took. Huh. Anyway, this gets us started, or this is the next step in our chain. We now have the cast, so let's go ahead and... Did he glitch himself out of bounds? Huh. Anyway, we now have the cast, so let's go ahead and deliver this back to the smithies.
I mean, makes our job convenient.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so there's the cast, but we need something to smelt down in order to make a new crucifix.
You could just sacrifice your shield or your hammer or something.
I could, but that's not how adventure games work, and you know it, buddy. Let's see. No. I think there's a building that I keep overlooking or something. See. You? No. You? No. Whoop. Oh, here we go. Alright. Alright, now that we're in the... Oh, bother. Hey, out of here. Move, lady. Oh, I think I have to... Here we go. Way down the switch. Now I can get into this trapdoor here. Glove in case we need it. Need to come back with the Earth Rune, so let's go up the stairs now.
Alright.
Duck around people frantically. Oh, another bug.
Bust of Mr. Shanks, landlord of the Troll's Head. To clean the statue, lower the pedestal.
Okay. Well, there's a bust there. Alright. I'm going to need to get into that cage. Whoop. Luckily, they can take a hit. It's enough for me to get the Earth Rune. And I can go back downstairs. Duck around this guy. Grab this. And then hit this switch. Lowers that, so now we can grab the bust.
Alright.
So now we have something we can smelt down.
Because forget about art, am I right?
If you remember back in the smithy, there was something about how the town smithy absolutely has a passion for making busts. Of all things, he just cannot make enough busts. Busting, in fact, makes him feel good.
Hurry, comrades, tear this place apart.
If we don't find the shadow artifact, Lord Zarak will have us mocking out the demons for the next millennium.
Alright, now those town guards we can totally take on. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do so.
Alright.
That said, being armed with guns in a medieval era, they're pretty powerful. So, ideally, you don't face tank them like I just was. But alright. Now that we got our bust, we'll go ahead and drop it off here. Now, if you remember from the write-up, it also mentioned that the smithy was a huge fan of, I forget his name, but the guy who gave us the hammer, which is our hint to go smashing. No, it's not. I tricked you. That sure was a clever trick that I played on you. You actually have to just jump on it repeatedly. Okay, me. There we go. Alright, crucifix in hand, we can now set this up in the chapel.
Alright.
Hangs out in churches. Heal up real quick.
Dear Sir or Madam, on my travels across Galamia, I have come across many mysterious and enchanting finds. However, that which filled me with deepest dread was discovery of the tomb of the shadow demons. The key to their dank prison, the mysterious shadow artifact, is now in my possession. Yours fearfully, the town mayor.
Alright, so if we can find the mayor, we can find the shadow artifact. Whoops. Still don't want to beat him up if we don't gotta. Actually, let's try out our longbow. Some light platforming up here. Nah. Oh, right. Okay. Oh. And now I got the shadow artifact. I guess we just had to go to his house. Oh well. Alright. Couple more guards for us to beat up. Alright. That'll be the end of the level, but let's go ahead and grab that chalice right off. There we go. Alright. And finally, we're good to go. One last thing.
Capture that greedy profiteer, the town mayor. Take him to the asylum dungeons. Give the fat boy a good going over. Locate the shadow artifact. Bring me back something nice.
Alright, and that's that.
Back and forth like a supernatural yo-yo. Maybe the master will make it harder to find those magic egg cups.
Let's see. We got that, or we got that. Oh, actually, a couple options here. So we can either get the. I'll leave this option up to you, Gooms. We've either got the throwing axe, we can get a longbow upgrade, or we can get the new shield. Got a preference? Probably not. I'll go ahead and grab the shield then.
Ah, Herr Fortescue, you are back on the battlefield, yeah? This is good. People say to me, Stungard, what do you think of this sword or that axe? But I say to them, nein! Modern warfare is a question of science, the science of shields. I think maybe you should take my shield, yeah? It is magic, Herr Fortescue. Some say it is better to have a magic sword than a magic shield, but I say to you that this is rubbish! So long as you use it properly, the shield will make you invincible!
I don't always get some of the rejoinders there. Alright, and now we've got the final shield. So just another thing to jump between. We'll be able to flip between all three of them. Alright. This is probably a decent stopping point then. So when next we resume, we will start with the Asylum Grounds. Something for y'all to look forward to. In any case, folks, thanks for hopping on in, and hope y'all had a good time, and we'll catch y'all next time. Take care.